Hey, what's up? It's Christoph from Be Mindful, and I want you to imagine something real quick. Imagine your life with the people and their behaviors and your circumstances. Maybe in your close social circle, you have a friend that could be a little too negative sometimes for you.
Ugh, I hate you so much sometimes.
We're gonna be positive. Positive, positive, positive.
And maybe you want to change that. Or the coworker that you work with on the job is a little annoying and you want to change that as well.
Jim. Jim. Oh, hey, Dwight.
Or let's zoom out a little bit and look at the politics in our world. Are there wars waging? I think we know the answer. Is there a lot of social injustice like poverty and world hunger? Yes, this is all going on. Well, what would you say if I told you that we have a superpower to change the elements, the factors that are negative or not good in the world with the snap of a finger? Just instantly change that. How would the world look then? Would be pretty amazing, no? If everyone could just change their own lives and change it for the better. Well, I have something to say. There is something we can do to change the things that we don't like in our lives. But it's way more indirect and way more subtle than the superpower that I talked about. Because of course, that doesn't exist. That's impossible. What I'm talking about to change the world is the following. If you want to change the world, you have to change yourself first. In this society, we have a great outward focus. When we look on our Instagram or Facebook feed, we really value the reactions and likes of other people on our world. So we are actually judging everything from the outside. How's this person talking to me? How's that circumstance serving me? Well, instead of outwardly focusing so much, let's focus back inwards and actually look into the mirror and assess our own lives, the own problems and flaws that are present in our lives, because we're not perfect, far from it. So let's do that first. We have to change ourselves, work on ourselves first before we can try to change the world. I want to tell you real quickly why I'm making this video. There is a person in my close social circle, my environment, that is showing negative and self-destructing behavior. And for the last couple of years, this has been going on. And of course, like every normal human being that cares for someone else, we want to change that. We want to say like, hey, wake up, don't do that anymore. It's not serving you in a good way. That didn't work. For years and years, I put a lot of time, energy, effort into changing that person's mindset, and therefore wanting to change the actions that flow from that mindset. But that didn't work at all. It wasn't a great success. And the only thing really that I got out of it was disappointment, resentment, even aggression feelings, and so on. And the loss of energy and time that I just talked about. And then it dawned on me, really, it became clear after a period of introspection about this specific topic. It's way easier to complain and judge about other people and their lives than to really look yourself in the mirror and see your own flaws, your own problems and things you have to work on. And from that point on, I started doing that more. So right now, I'm more focused on building myself. I am educating myself. I am watering the plant that I am in the good soil, and then to even grow further, because that is what's really important. We have to keep growing in our lives, and it's not gonna help by focusing on too many other people around you. You have to do you first. And of course, I'm not talking about ignoring all the people in your life, and especially if there's negative behavior that you don't like. It's not about closing your eyes for that type of behavior. No, it's just that we have to see that there's not that much we can do in other people's lives. We have to do our stuff first. I'm not saying you can't support and steer certain people in a certain direction. And like the old Zen quote that says, the teacher appears when the student is ready, the person has to be ready for that change, and you cannot do anything about that. I was really inspired also by a fragment by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist that I already follow for a long time. And the things he says are so on point. I want to share a little excerpt of a podcast with Joe Rogan. So a little interview he did about this topic that was really well explained. And I just want to share that with you.
But that isn't what you should do. If you want to change the world, you should change yourself. And I don't mean that in some cliched sense. I mean it in the sense that Alexander Solzhenitsyn said when he analyzed the Soviet Union. He said, don't be thinking that the line that divides good from evil runs down a political spectrum or countries or something like that. It runs down right down the middle of your soul. And if you want to sort out the world, then what you do is you sort yourself out. It's a serious business, right? They say it's more difficult to rule yourself than to rule a city. And that's the truth, because you're complicated and there are horrible monsters inside of you that need to be tamed and to be brought into alignment and submission so that you can be a powerful and useful person.
So he says that it's more difficult to rule oneself than to rule a city. We have in ourselves these flaws, these problems or things that need to be addressed. So when you look at it, we don't even have that much of authority to judge other people and their lives. We have enough work ourselves. So let's focus on ourselves first, than to judge another person or tell them what to do in their lives. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, please, if you really like this content. See you guys.